want to do a quick little pull. And slow down, because there's a Prius in front of us. A quick overview of this car. It's a 5.0 Mustang GT 2011. Usually those cars have 410 horsepower, 412 crank horsepower, around there. With that year, they came out with the new 5.0 Coyote engine, and was definitely a big upgrade compared to the 4.6 liter 3-valve engine that had, I believe, 310 crank horsepower. So this 412 horsepower crank horsepower is definitely a step up compared to that. It is a Gen 1 Coyote, which out of all the 5.0s was definitely the one that had the least amount of power. However, this car is fitted with a Roush Phase 1 Supercharger, which bumps it up from the 412 horsepower to 575 crank horsepower. Let's see. Now that the car is all warmed up, I'm going to do a second gear pull. Alright, now at 3,000 RPMs. Holy shit. Oh my god. I always talk about how I always want to upgrade the Supercharger to the Phase 3 kit, which basically bumps it up from 575 horsepower to basically 675, which I don't know if I'm insane every time I say that. I feel like majority of the time, every time I say that I want the Phase to upgrade to the Phase 3 kit, is just to be up in that 600 figure horsepower range. But I mean, oh my god, 575 crank horsepower. I don't know exactly what it is to the wheels. I'm assuming it's around 500-ish wheel horsepower, just due to the drivetrain loss. You know, I'm not sure the exact percentage of horsepower loss, but I'm guessing it's like around 500 wheel horsepower. But oh my god, this is I feel like I shouldn't even have this type of horsepower. This type of horsepower. Oh wow, he had quite an accident there. This type of horsepower is, I feel it's kind of ridiculous, if I'm being 100% honest with myself. Like, I just want to be in that 600 horsepower, you know. However, I don't believe I can truly handle 600 horsepower. Let me get in this lane. And, you know, having this type of horsepower on a Mustang like this is honestly kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that the thing that I love most about this car is the fact that it's a 6-speed manual, you know. However, you know, that's also, you know, I love having the 6-speed manual because it just makes everything feel so much more quicker, you know, especially for your passengers. And there goes the radar. And pretty much, you know, all of that. But if we're being like completely honest, this manual transmission is also one of its faulty points with this Mustang, and especially all Mustangs going up until 2020, I believe. You know, besides the what is it, the Bullet, I believe the Bullet, I'm not sure if it has the MT82 manual transmission, but, or if it has the Tremec, but the MT82 is definitely one of those, it's a good shifting transmission in the way that, you know, driving just day-to-day things, like, you know, just to, you know, if you're going to work in this car and, you know, you're just driving it normally, yes, this manual transmission is honestly perfect. It's very smooth, you know, you can honestly shift without even pushing in the clutch, to be honest, which makes it, you know, like right now I'm in 4th gear, I'm not going to use the clutch, and I can just shift into 5th gear so easily, you know, just like a semi truck. But the thing is, with this car though, it's not a, you know, grocery getter, or it's not a commuter, to say the least. For me, it is a commuter, but it's not. I feel like, you know, a car like this isn't made to be a commuter, you know, it's made to be a performance car. And with Ford putting the MT82 manual transmission, I feel like it was, you know, a faulty point that, you know, like, why would they put a, you know, Chinese MT82 transmission like that in a car that has over 400 crank horsepower, you know, especially when it revs out to 7,000 RPMs. It's one of those things that it's just like, why would you, you know, put that kind of transmission in a car like this, you know? See, let's just go to one of my favorite spots. This is where I used to park my car right before going into class. I had the V6 Mustang at the time though. I didn't have this car, but I remember I would always show up late, to the point where I had to park all the way back here and walk 15 minutes pretty much just to get to my first period class. Alright, let's see if I still got it. Alright. But I want to talk about another faulty point with this car, the two-piece drive shaft. The two-piece drive shaft is something that I'm starting to just deal with. I got this car back in December of 2019, and I'm just now starting to have problems with the two-piece drive shaft. And it's basically one of those things that it's just like, why in a car like this would you put something like a two-piece drive shaft, you know? Because I know that for performance, you know, the guys that actually know what the hell they're doing, they sell a one-piece aluminum drive shaft, which is, I believe, 15 pounds lighter, if I'm not mistaken. So it's less rotational mass that, you know, it'll go through, and it's a lot stronger than the two-piece drive shaft. And I just feel like, because this car has 100,000 miles and everything works fine, but, you know, it's one of those things that's just like, I would get it if you put it in a regular commuter car and, you know, any other car besides the Mustang. I understand why you would put a two-piece drive shaft. However, in a performance car like this, you know, why would you put a faulty manual transmission? So far, I haven't had too many issues with this manual transmission. However, you know, when it revs out to 7,000 RPMs, you pretty much can't shift after that, you know, especially if you're drag racing or something like that, you know, and you want to rev out the whole engine, you pretty much can't, you know, because you reach 7,000 RPMs, you want to shift into second or third, and it just locks you out. So, you know, I have those problems. I've heard, you know, you can just, it's a clutch cable, you know, you change that. I've also heard, you know, it's also, you can put a McLeod clutch kit on it, and it solves that whole problem. I don't know how, you know, reliable those sources are, but It's just something that I heard. But again, with the 2-piece drive shaft along with the manual transmission in this car, it's one of those things that why would you put that kind of stuff here, you know, in a performance car? You know, you don't really buy a Mustang, you know, for it to be a commuter. If you wanted the commuter, you would have gotten the I believe it's the 3.7 liter V6, or if you want a newer one, you would end up getting the EcoBoost, which they have good horsepower, so you know, I don't see why, you know. But for the GT, I feel like, you know, this deserves an American-made Tremec transmission along with a 1-piece drive shaft. But you know, engine, this is the beauty of this whole car. You got the 5.0 Gen 1 Coyote with a Roush Phase 1 supercharger. Like I said, you know, with the Phase 1 supercharger, basically what it gives you is, you know, the basic supercharger. It gives you a pretty big pulley. It's very conservative. And they also give you the closed air intake. However, you know, you do have the tunnel here that, you know, leads to air, you know, and I opened up this fog light right here, so it allows even more air flowing in, just to, you know, not hinder its performance as much. But you basically get 575 crank horsepower. That's at least what Roush says you get with this kit. And you have the Phase 3 kit, which just bumps it up to another 100 horsepower, 675 crank horsepower, which I always say I want to do, but every time I floor this car, I just retract that whole statement. Like, this is more horsepower than I could ever possibly need. It is just ridiculous. You know, it's one of those things that it's just, it's too quick. You know, you step on it and you're already at 45 miles per hour. And if you want to ring out third gear, you're coming up upon 80 miles per hour. That's an instant ticket right there. So I'm just, and you already you lose traction with the rear wheels with this kind of setup already. So, you know, that 675 crank horsepower is just something kind of ridiculous, you know, thinking about it. But you know, it's still definitely one of those things I want to do, you know. But this setup is definitely more than enough for my skill level, at least right now. You know, I'm gonna admit I'm not the best driver or anything like that, but you know, my previous Mustang prior to this was a 07 V6 4.0 Mustang, and that car had 210 crank horsepower, which to the wheels was probably a lot less, but I still managed to get myself in trouble with that car. You know, I've had instances where, you know, you're trying to, you know, just lose control of the tail and just enjoy the whole car. But, you know, I've had instances where I've ended up in a ditch, which I'm grateful that happened to that Mustang and not this one. So I'm definitely a lot more mature when it comes to driving this car. I know things like tire temperature. I remember I messed up that car due to it being a very cold day, but that's beyond that. Right here, just want to give a, you know, overall review. Basically, you know, you have the carbon fiber GT500 spoiler, have the Raxium taillights, because with the 2010 through 2012 came with these pretty ugly taillights, and I just wanted to change it up. Definitely wanted to make the car look a lot more modern. It wasn't too bad. It was just $400. Got a custom deck lid. I always wanted a carbon fiber one, and now that I got the carbon fiber GT500 spoiler, I'm probably gonna change that out and get this into carbon fiber. So this was custom made, as you can see it cut right there, put the Coyote emblem. So I might end up giving away this deck lid panel in the future, so that might be a giveaway. You know, just got regular louvers here. It's more of an aesthetic feature than anything, along with the side scoops. It's more of an aesthetic thing, but you know, it is open, so I guess it does serve probably 1% of a functionality. You know, like I said, also have the Boss 302 front fascia look, have the open fog light grills right there, and they have the lower grill from the California Special and Boss 302. Need to get a splitter though for it, just so it provides some more downforce on the front end. Another notification, I don't know what's going on at my house, but does have the Brembo package with this car. Has the 4 pistons in the front and has just regular standard brakes. I ended up painting those red because they came out gray upon purchasing this vehicle, and it was just one of those things that I just felt like, if you have Brembo brakes, why are they gray? You know, if you have Brembo brakes, they have to, you know, you got the big brake package, make them at least visible. They got it right on the new 2018 through 2019 Bullet Mustangs, where they have the red Brembo brake package. So you can see here, you got the 5.0 Supercharged, something that, you know, coming from the 4.0 onto the 5.0, and it was supercharged. It was just one of those first purchases I did, slap on that badge. Nothing too extravagant, you know. I didn't want to slap on, you know, supercharged on the whole damn side, but just something, just so the people who know it's not just a 5.0. Along with here, you got the whole wrap. Wasn't the best job that I did, but, you know, it was my first time ever wrapping a car. So, you know, all I know is I'll get better with time. See, you got the Roush Charged like embossed on the hood. And just taking it inside the interior, you got the whole carbon fiber interior. Got that kit from my actual company, Carbon Fiber, but so you can see here, it pretty much got the whole carbon dash. Got a carbon gauges, carbon steering wheel, carbon shift knob. You know, just got the whole carbon fiber setup, because that's definitely one of the key points that I like about this car. But yeah, I mean, besides that, there's not that much I could review about this car. You know, I've, you know, discussed some things that I don't like, some things that I do like. Let's take away that. But yeah, I mean, I hope you guys really enjoy this video. Hope you guys enjoy these types of kind of reviews, you know, from this point of view, you know. And we're just gonna put some clips in of me doing some pulls, you know, and hope you guys like it, and I'll see you next time. I'm out.